Hey there, guys. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, and I am back to say hi. Hope you are enjoying this incredible week. We are rounding the corner on August. Before long, we'll be completely out of this month. We'll be into Labor Day. I'm telling you, time is flying. But before we leave, I'm excited to share with you today some commonalities that I have noticed in some of my highest performing clients. So if you're wondering how I can get to a place where this week we are celebrating things like Sasha landing a spot on the Today Show. So check her out tomorrow in the second hour. We are celebrating things like Sherelle closing over $100,000 in 90 days. We are celebrating things like Chuck snagging a $100,000 grant for his nonprofit. We're celebrating things like Sharon hitting well over 400,000. I think she's closer to the $450,000 mark so far this year, over and above her 350 that she had last year. So 2 years in the mentorship, and she's already accumulated over $750,000 in sales after coming into the mentorship, which is 25,000 in annual sales. We have a lot to celebrate. And I want to talk about what are some of the common strands, the common streams that hey there, how you doing, Chuck? Congratulations on your grant. I'm so proud of you. Listen, I can't wait to see you at the retreat, my man, because your organization does incredible things. You all deserve every last penny of that $100,000 and more. Okay, so let's strategize about how we get that $250,000 grant next time, and that $500,000 grant after then, and so on and so forth, because you deserve it with all the great work you're doing in the community. But I'm excited about all of this wonderful, wonderful, just game-changing success that we're seeing. And I want to talk about what you can glean from game changers like Chuck and others, peers in the mentorship who are out here killing the damn game. You are welcome, my dear. So before I get into that, let me just quickly say hi, everybody. In case I've ran into you, let me just introduce myself super quickly. My name is Dr. Avis. I'm an award-winning author, a media commentator, a global speaker, and of course, I am also the creator of Black Millionaire Coach Live. App is in the works. Yes. I'm super excited about that. If you want to get some sneak peek into what my clients have learned to help them get there to the results that I just shared with you, then you need to make sure that you grab your spot at Black Millionaire Coach Live. It's coming up October 14th through 16th. You can grab your spot right now by going to blackmillionairecoachlive.com. That's blackmillionairecoachlive.com. And actually, I have a brand new promo code to share with you all. So definitely take this down in recognition of Black Business Month. August is Black Business Month. So it just seems fortuitous that August is also my birthday month. Hello. August is also Leo's and Virgo's now, but Leo season never ends in my book, So anyhow, but excited to still be on their radar. Oh, no, it got pulled. That's a damn shame. That's okay. You are on their radar, and you are going to be you're in there. The good thing is that you are now in their sort of Rolodex per se. So the next time they need someone with your expertise, guess what? You will be on the list. So do not fret. Okay. So what I want to talk about tonight is what though are we seeing? What are we seeing that unites the amazing success of a lot of the people that I've shared with you tonight, and of so many others that have worked with me over the years? There are some commonalities there that I want to share. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the promo code. Promo code in recognition of Black Business Month is Minding My Black Business. When you use the promo code Minding My Black Business, you get $300 off Black Millionaire Coach Live. So with that said, let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right. Hey, everybody. All right. So commonalities of my highest performers. They are as such. Number one, my highest performers are people that believe in excellence. They believe in excellence. So for example, on here tonight, I know Chuck is here Chuck is here. I also know, on here tonight, we have a few, several of my high ticket performers. Let's see here. I think Sacha's here. I can't tell everybody because Facebook, StreamYard won't let me be great, but I can at least tell that Chuck is here, Sacha is here from their comments. This is what I'm going to say. They, like their peers, high performing peers in the mentorship, are people who are just damn good at what they do. Okay. It's just no getting around that. First of all, you guys, it's no getting around that. You got to be damn good at what you do in order to get amazing results. There's no fake in the funk. You got to be good at what you do. That is a minimal bar. Okay. And they're great at what they do. They are passionate about what they do. They put their heart and soul into what they do. They are concerned about quality. It's just not about, checking a box and getting something done and expecting a check. It's around really delivering. Shall I even say over delivering? Okay. So that's number one. They are just damn good at what they do. All right. That's number one. All right. But then I would also say there are a lot of people that aren't good at what they do, but they're not getting enough of these results. So let's tell you what you need to do past being good at what you do, because I think a lot of us would hit that at least minimal bar, right? Then in addition to being good at what they do, another trait that I see oftentimes with some of my highest performing clients is they do a great job of truncating the amount of time between the acquisition of information and the application of information. Boom. They truncate time between the acquisition of information and the application of that information. So in other words, they don't learn about something that is appropriate to their business model, something that they could use to be better at what they do, or to be more effective in sales, or to be able to get, higher grants, or, they don't learn about something and then just, put it away and never act. Okay. They act, and they act immediately. Okay. So these are people who don't just get caught up in a cycle of learning. They are able to figure out, okay, what can I take from this that I can apply to what I do? And then they pull the trigger. Now, I do want to mention a little caveat with that, you guys, because here's the thing. I was on another training with some of my other clients tonight, my six-figure slayers. And I will say, I think it's important that you all realize that not every technique or strategy is going to work the same way for everybody. There may be some things you enjoy doing, or some things that are more in line with your personality type, right, than other strategies. So though you can learn about a lot of different things, as an entrepreneur, you can try a lot of different things, or you can get a sense of, okay, this one feels more comfortable to me. I enjoy this more than I enjoyed that, right? Hey, Sherbert. And so you figure out what works best for you, and then you act on it. Okay. And sometimes the only way you can figure out if it works best for you is if you act on it. Okay. It's about being brave enough to try. So truncating the time between the acquisition of information and the application of information. And when you do that, you can quickly figure out, is this something that I want to implement on a regular in what I do? The people in Silicon Valley have this concept of failing fast. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but a lot of Silicon Valley companies have this concept of failing fast. And it's a very similar concept. It's about, okay, they encourage creative thinking. They encourage people to go out and think of new things and do new things. Now, some things people don't like. Like, I know recently I saw a lot of posts about, why the hell did Facebook take the editing button off the damn post? Okay, I agree with you. That didn't make no damn sense. Apparently it came back. Why? They tried it, didn't get good reaction, so they put it back, but it failed fast. Okay. So what I'm suggesting is you got to be able to have that same sort of bravery with your business, to try different things and figure out what works, what's a good fit for you, and what you feel comfortable with, and what's not, right? And what I find is that people who are go-getters are open to that line of thought. They don't think of failing, quote unquote, as failing. They just think of it as a test, like an experiment that they're running, especially the first time you do it. It's going to be experimental. You don't know what the results are going to be. So you have to have a healthy attitude. If you quickly apply the test, right, the experiment, you see how it goes. If it goes well, great, replicate it. If it's a complete disaster, maybe that's not meant for you. If it goes okay, maybe you need to do it again with some tweaks to make it better. But you don't just sit there and don't act, okay, and sit there remunerating on it for months, weeks, days, years, and wondering why nothing's happening in your business. You have to act first, okay? You have to act and be brave enough to act on new things that you're exposed to. Absolutely right, Babette. Got to learn the art of the pivot. Yes, ma'am. Okay, here's a big one. Number 3, they know their value and they charge appropriately. I could do a whole live on this. Y'all know, y'all probably heard me do whole lives on this because y'all know this is my hill that I will die on. Okay, please, 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 please charge appropriately. Please charge appropriately. And, when you hear about people getting, 6-figure, multi-6-figure contracts around what they're doing, that is a reflection of charging appropriately. Bam, that's a reflection of charging appropriately. No one whom at the very top, I said, you're great at what you do. You're the bomb.com at what you do. You over deliver. You operate in excellence. If that is you, please do not underbid your damn self. Okay? Charge appropriately. It is that simple. And here's a thing about charging appropriately. It takes a little bravery to do that. But I want you to believe in yourself enough to put a price tag on what you do that is reflective of the quality experience that you provide your customers. Trust and believe. That makes it so much easier to make these larger revenue leaps in your business. Because guess what? That means you need to sell to less people to get to the big bucks. Okay? So you get there faster. All right? So please, 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 please charge appropriately. My previous perfectionism would not have let me do that, but now I've been set free. Oh, that's so good. Let me just take a moment to pause on that because perfectionism, I am a recovering perfectionist myself. I am a recovering perfectionist. And I have to admit, sometimes what do you call somebody that falls back into their addiction if they're if they're in recovery and then they kind of fall backwards? Whatever you say that, sometimes that happens to me with my perfectionism. Okay. And I find myself, and I've recently had that happen to me recently where I felt like I fell back into my old perfectionist ways that slowed me up. A relapse. Exactly. I had a relapse, y'all. I'll give you a very specific example. So I'm working on launching a podcast. In all honesty, if it were not for the relapse, okay, that podcast would be out already. I have been making episodes, and I've been very busy. So I really haven't had time to go back and review the episodes. But in my mind, as I was making the episodes, literally that inner voice in me was saying, oh, I should have said that. Oh, that would have been better. Oh, this would have been this. And, so I delayed sort of doing everything that I need to do to get all of this stuff out. And as I was taking time today to go back and review these, I got a whole rack. I probably got over a dozen episodes. I've not released one yet. And as I'm going back and listening to them, I'm like, well, damn, they're better than I thought. And how many of you have had an experience like that where you've been so hypercritical of yourself, you haven't pulled the trigger on something, and then you go back and you review it and you're like, well, damn, I was too hard on myself. That's really better than I realized, right? And now I'm feeling crazy because some of the stuff I created like over a month ago, it was time sensitive. So, I can't use that episode or I have to edit it in some way. And I'm like, Jesus. Me, Miss, done is better than perfect, has allowed this perfectionism bug to slow my ass down with this podcast. Hello, I confess, okay? Hello, my name is Dr. Avis, and I am a recovering perfectionist. I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us, okay? But what I'm suggesting here is Absolutely. And to me, that is a lesson that I learned. Hey there, Jeffrey. That is a lesson that I learned about this whole thing of perfectionism. It really taught me a lesson today. I'm thinking now what I will do in the future is I'm going to be more on it in terms of immediately reviewing things, because had I immediately reviewed them, I kind of let the funky thoughts in my head that it wasn't good enough. It kind of made me avoid reviewing them even. You know what I mean? And so if I was more prompt around going back and immediately reviewing, I would not have allowed myself to delay to the extent that I did. I guarantee you. So I won't make that same mistake twice. But I will say this. It is a lesson that we can all learn. So if you struggle with perfectionism, to me, what I have learned from this very recent experience is that the paralysis, that paralysis aspect of perfectionism grows and strengthens the longer that you bow to it. You have to like really, really nip that in the bud immediately, whatever that means to you. In my case, that meant I should have reviewed each episode immediately after creating it. And that's what I'm going to do in the future. Okay. So, hey, we live and we learn, right? Absolutely. You too, Chuck. I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. Hello. You need to hear that, Sherbert. I hear you, girl. It happens to the best of us. Because you know what happens, I think, particularly with high performers. I should write a whole book on this, y'all. I'm trying to think about what my next book is going to be about. But high performing people, like those of you who have struggled with this, the reason why you have perfectionism or you are a recovering perfectionist like me is because you have a bar that's at a completely different level than the average bear. Okay. You don't operate in the average category in your life. You don't operate in the normal. You don't operate at the C level if we're going to grade it. Okay. You don't live your life like that. Everything that you do to the best of your ability. So there is nobody that can put more pressure on you than you. Period. Am I right? Like there is nobody out there alive that can put more pressure on you than you. And the other thing about it is, you know your capabilities better than anybody else, right? So no matter how good you do a thing, right? Because you know your capabilities better than anybody else, you can convince yourself that you could have done it better. I mean, am I right, y'all? Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I am lying, okay? Absolutely. Happens to the best of us. We could always do that. But I think, and as I tell you, I'm still struggling with this myself. A part of this is learning self-compassion, like literally practicing self-compassion, understanding and really living it, not just saying it, because I'm the first one to say it, but I have to struggle every day with actually living this, living the truth that there is no such thing as perfection, and being okay with that. Really, there isn't. And honestly, sometimes when you put too much pressure on you for perfection, it actually has the opposite effect. Like it makes you mess up more, because now you're not operating in the zone anymore. You're not allowing yourself to flow, to get to the flow state. You're sitting here, hyper analyzing each and everything that you do. Right? I mean, you guys, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to hear that, Ronald. Chuck, you're exactly right, hun. Be willing to delegate so you can focus on what you do well. And let me tell you, that is one of the things that just helped me today, because I was so sensitive, because this podcast means a lot to me, you guys. I really wanted to be well received. I really wanted to be of high quality. I really wanted to be of great value to each and every one of you once it's released. That I had this like super high bar for it. And I was like, only I can review these. Only I can review these things. Only I can do it. And finally I told myself, you know what? I don't got time to review all these things. I just admitted to myself, if I was going to sit here and review all these like dozen plus podcast episodes that I've made before I pass it along to the producer that's been like waiting on this forever, and I know they're tired of my ass by now, I was like, it just ain't going to happen. And I just really wanted to get it done before I go to the my client retreat this weekend. So I gave a big chunk of them to my assistant this morning, and who is someone who is a very focused person, very detailed oriented person. I did some, she did the others, and they got done. They got done. Why? Because I finally, just like Chuck said, I released some of it. If I would have tried to do it all myself, Lord Jesus, y'all wouldn't be hearing that podcast probably till next year sometime. But thanks to this, you will probably hear it next month. Okay. We're going to finish going through all the production and all that good stuff, but it'll be released next month. Okay. So anyway, I got off on a tangent, but I'm glad that this is, I'm glad that this is, you got dibs on the audiobook. Sounds good, Jeffrey. I'm glad that this is helpful to some of you, and you can feel my pain, because I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with. Yeah. All right. So, this is a big one. The next thing that my high performing clients do, they market daily in some way, shape, or form. Like in some way, shape, or form, marketing is a regular part of what they do in their business. And I know some of you do not want to hear that. You're like, oh my God, every damn day. Listen, let me just say, if you want to make money regularly, then you need to be in some way getting out in front of people regularly. It doesn't need to be the same thing every day. You don't need to be doing the same things all the time, but every day something needs to be happening. Something needs to be happening. It could be posting on social media. It could be doing a television appearance, a podcast, or creating podcasts that you never released. Don't do that. But, something, you need to be doing something every day. I always like to say, more people need to know you tomorrow who knew you today. And that needs to be a regular part of, like a mantra that you need to say in your business. Like, what can I do today so that more people know me today than knew me yesterday? Maybe it's just as little as reaching out to some people that you know and DMing them and finding out how you can be of service, or finding out if they have a referral, or doing something, or going back to old clients, reconnecting with them, seeing how they're going. Not everything needs to be a big old marketing spill. It could be light touches there as well. But the bottom line is, every day you need to be doing something to make sure that more people are aware of your business, or what new offers you have, or what you're doing right now. That needs to be something that is every day. And what I find, especially for newer entrepreneurs, I think sometimes people feel like they're imposing on people by talking about their business. But if you really believe that your business helps people, why wouldn't you share it? Why wouldn't you talk about it? Why wouldn't you shout about it off the rooftops? I know that people's lives are going to change by coming to Black Millionaire Coach Live. So I'm going to talk about that till cows come home. Okay. I'm sorry if I get on your nerves. But I understand that the bigger vision, like the end result of what will happen there, will be life-changing to some people. So Sharon, who I mentioned, who's at now $750,000, she came to my last live event, you guys. The last live event I had, she came to it. Her life is completely different now than when she came to that event. I know there are lots of other people out there right now that just need to be in the room, to be able to have access of information that's going to allow their businesses to blow all the way up. Why would I keep that a secret? That would be selfish. So if what you do is amazing, if what you do changes lives, if what you do makes your community a better place, why wouldn't you scream about it from the rooftops in every way, shape, or form that you can? Right? That is nothing to be ashamed of. One thing you don't want to do, because this is tacky marketing, is that you don't want to spam other people's lives. That's not marketing. That is not marketing. It's tacky. It is something that shows that you don't really understand what real marketing is, that you have to somehow attach yourself to other people's marketing efforts. and it shows really a lack of business savvy. So if anything, it would actually repel me as particularly a high ticket buyer from working with someone who would do that. So, the example that you're seeing right now in my chat, I would suggest that you don't do, because high ticket buyers aren't looking for people who advertise like that. High ticket buyers, which is what I teach people how to do, are looking for people who understand literally how to market to them in a way that shows that they have business savvy, right? Because I want to work with people who have business savvy so that I can be better at what I do. So that is really what you have to remember too. I mean, this is a great example. So I'm telling you what to do, but live right here in the chat, you're getting an example of what not to do. Okay. So that's another thing. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely, Chuck. I am definitely getting to that. Attending the webinars that complement what you're working on. Great leaders have several mentors and coaches. That is absolutely so true. And here's why. Because not everybody's an expert on everything, right? So you work with people that are an expert in one area that you need help with, but maybe there's something that you need help with in a completely different area, and you work with people in those areas as well, right? Absolutely, you do that. And that's what some of my best clients do as well. Hadn't gotten to it yet, but absolutely. Another thing that they do, in addition to marketing regularly and appropriately and in a way that shows that they are business savvy, my clients sell regularly. Now, notice that I mentioned these things in a particular order. They market regularly and they sell regularly. Here is what I want you to know. If you are not selling regularly, it is likely because you are not marketing regularly. Because if people don't know that your business exists, if people don't know what your offer is, if people don't know what you do, how are you going to attract people to sell to? There is an order to this ish. So the people who are marketing most regularly, guess what? That means that they have a regular flow of leads whom they can sell to, right? So how you get to these extraordinary large numbers in terms of revenue is you have a regular flow of people coming in that you are selling to. And let me also just suggest, it's a regular either there, particularly if you have a service-based business, it's a regular flow of people that you can sell to via either having regular people who are scheduling calls with you, or if you choose to sell via larger events like online events, in-person events, a combination of the two, whatever you choose to do, webinars, challenges, live events, whatever it is, the point is you need to make sure that you're doing it regularly. You need to make sure that you're doing it regularly. And regularly to me means several times a year at minimum, okay? Maybe even every other month or monthly. Like on a regular basis, you need to have some sort of sales event. Ideally, monthly, you are selling something regularly. You're having a sales event monthly, or you've set up a system by which you are regularly getting people on the phone to talk with you. That's probably weekly goals in terms of trying to get a certain number of sales conversations scheduled. Okay. So depending upon what your sales strategy is, the bottom line is you have to have enough marketing to either fill up the sales events or fill up your calendar on a regular basis. And when you have enough marketing to have those two lanes filled consistently, guess what? You cannot avoid making consistent money that way. Okay. That is the conduit to making consistent large sums of cash. All right. Next things that my best clients do regularly. Here's the thing. They do not let no's stop them. That's a big one. They do not let no's stop them. When you are attempting to sell regularly, guess what? You will hear no's. Maybe even before you even get to the sales part, maybe when you're just marketing, okay? Telling people about what you will hear no's. And you're like, I haven't even asked you anything yet, but some people go out of their way to say no, okay? Bottom line is, don't get your feelings all hurt, okay? With the no. You will live, you will survive. And I really want you to build up the wherewithal within yourself to get to the frame of mind where when you hear no, you say next. Because guess what? There are billions of people on this planet. So what? You got to know. So what? You got a few no's. There are so many more people out there that still need you, that likely are still looking for you, that still want what you have to offer. You just have to make sure that you are positioned such that they can find you, and you are brave enough to give them the opportunity to work with you. You have to initiate that process, by the way. Okay. All right. So if you hear a no, good. I'm so glad that you caught it too. I wish I knew who you were, but I'm glad you caught it too. Here's the thing. If you hear a no, just dust it off your shoulders. Keep on keeping on. Okay. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. All right. Now, hey, Suzette, here's one thing I would suggest you do, though, when you are hearing them. I do want you to take a little bit of time to analyze, okay, what happened here, especially if you're hearing a lot of no's. I want you now to analyze what is happening. Like, really deconstruct what is happening. Do you need to adjust your messaging? Do you need to work on improving a particular skill set? Do you need to do a little bit more market research about what your market wants so that you can make sure that you are providing an offer that an audience actually wants to buy, right? So do you need to do some more market research? I mean, just really sort of do some unpacking of what's going on if you're hearing a whole rack of no's, so that you can make the appropriate adjustments such that you can start to hear a rack of yeses, okay? But the bottom line is, a no doesn't stop you. A no should just cause you at most to rethink what you are doing so that you can figure out, so you can troubleshoot and then come back better and stronger the next time. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? All righty. Let's see. What is the next thing that they have in common? And this is something that Chuck brought up earlier, but I will just definitely connect to it again myself. They invest in themselves and they invest in their businesses. Okay. They invest in themselves and they invest in their businesses. Now, what I mean about they invest in themselves, obviously, a big way of doing that is through investing in coaching, investing in mentoring, getting in the right community with the right peers that's going to help lift you and guide you, and you're going to get the right training and direction and skills development and all of that good stuff, mindset development, all of those things that are necessary as an entrepreneur. Here's one thing I have to tell you. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. I will say that till the cows come home. It is not. You have to be a strong-minded person. You have to be somebody that has tough skin. And when I say entrepreneur, it does not only apply to for-profit. It also means whatever you have thought in your imagination and you create it into this real thing, that took entrepreneurial spirit to do. So you can I consider people who develop nonprofits like Chuck, that's an entrepreneur. Okay. He just chooses to target his entrepreneurial energy into a nonprofit that does tremendous work for his community. But it takes entrepreneurial ingenuity and spirit and stick-to-itiveness, right? And tough skin to do that. I've lived in that nonprofit space for decades before I started my business. That ain't for wimps, okay? So what I'm suggesting to you here is that if you are one of those creatives that has created a concept that you have taken out of your head and you've actually made it real to the point where you are serving customers, where you are serving your community, where you're getting sales, where you're getting grants, that takes a real, and when you really are doing it at the big level where you're having to pay payroll, okay, every company, look, people don't understand. That's pressure associated with that. That's responsibility associated with that, okay? And so if you are someone who you're in this space, let me just tell you, not everybody understands this life. I would venture to say that most people do not understand this life. Okay. Most people do not understand this life. And so they don't get what it's like to have to be able to make sure, for example, you're bringing in enough sales to be able to cover payroll plus have a profit, right? They don't understand what it's like to be able to get the grants that you need to get to be able to make the impact that you want to make in your community, plus be able to pay your staff, right? They don't understand what that type of pressure is like. It's a very different type of life than the direct deposit life. I'm just going to be real, not to say anything bad about the direct deposit life, but it's different. It's a whole different set of pressures and obligations. All right. And so I say all that to say that when you are investing in yourself and in a community and in a mentor, you know, one of the reasons why I know that it's been very helpful for my business, and one of the reasons why I believe it's so helpful for my clients, is that in addition to the actual just training that you get, it's about being in a community of like-minded people who understand what it's like to live that life, right? And who can lift you up when you had a day where you're hearing more no's than you'd like to hear, and they can help scrape you off and give you suggestions and be your support system and not downgrade your dream, because they understand everybody's been there at one point. Everybody's been there at one point. And guess what? We know it don't last forever. So we have a different perspective on it than people who have only lived that direct deposit life and will be quick to say, well, you just need to quit. Or be quick to say, you know what? I didn't think that was going to work anyway. Or be quick to criticize you or downgrade you or to sort of undermine your confidence in you. Okay. So to me, a big part of what you are investing in when you make these types of investments is the community that's going to give you the support that you need. Because outside of people who get this, the rest of the world, they just really don't. They just really don't get it. They just really don't get it. Okay. But in addition to investing in self in that way, investing in the business itself, literally, like, you know, when you have developed the revenue streams that you need, investing in the team that you're going to need to go further. The example that we just used earlier in the stream, like my assistant was able to take some things off my plate that I had literally been procrastinating on today to make it happen. She literally did it in a few hours, and it's like been sitting in the recording like portal for literally weeks, if not months, honestly. So it's about investments. Now it's an investment to hire. Hiring people is an investment, but you have to have enough faith in yourself and in your business to start down that journey to really be able to say, okay, I understand logically, if I'm able to take some of these things off my plate, then my time can be more focused on the revenue generating activities that will actually allow my business to grow more. It's that shift that allows people to scale, and it's the inability to make that shift that keeps businesses smaller than they need to be, longer than they need to be. So it's about making those types of investments too, investments in team, investment in the right technology, you know, all those types of things that you need in order to operate as efficiently and effectively as you can as a business. Unfortunately, that stuff is not free. It is not for the weak. You're exactly right, Marquita. I like to think, you know, entrepreneurs, we are the gangsters. Okay. We are gangster. Okay. We are gangster. Okay. I get a little sensitive when I hear people just like talking about business and have never owned a business and really have no idea what it's like to be able to pay payroll every couple of, like having that responsibility, you know, knowing what it's like to know that entire families rely on you delivering, like your business, entire families rely on it. That is a lot of responsibility that most people will never have to experience. And so they can't really understand the pressure around it. Now, I know that's making it sound bad. I don't want to make it sound bad. I love entrepreneurship. I wouldn't change it for the world. But I want people to respect the type of gangsterism it takes to survive in this space, okay? The type of courage that it takes to survive in this space. And what I want you to understand is that there will be people in your life who just don't get it. Please do not let them to undermine your dream. Do not let them undermine your dream. Do not let them undermine your belief in yourself. Do not let them undermine your vision. They don't get it. They don't get it. You can talk to them until you're blue in the face. They will never get it. And so you need to make sure that you have a circle of friends, peers, advisors who are at your level or preferably even higher, so that they can help you, see around the corner of what to expect in your business, so that they can breathe life into you when you do have those bumpy moments along the way, because you will. That's just life. Not everything is fairy dust and sprinkles all the damn time. Okay. We're gonna have potholes every now and then. We're going to. You just need to understand you got to keep going. You got to keep going. But if it's just you by yourself, you might start to believe that things aren't going to get better. That's the big lie. You got to keep going. You really have to want it and oh my God, this is so true, Marquita. Oh, Karima, hey girl. She said, no, that's good. It's so true. You really have to want it just that bad. You need the community alignment. Oh my God, you do. You absolutely do. And let me just say, I'm so happy to see my girl Karima on here. I haven't seen you in so long. Hey girl. So let me tell you, Karima is gangsta. Okay, that sister right there, gangsta. Okay. Oh, this is such good. Accountability buddies, so important, Chuck. You're exactly right. I think that we should, ideally as entrepreneurs, I think you should definitely have the mentors, absolutely. But I also think you need to have peers. So you have to have people here and you have to have people here, right? And the people here, I think accountability buddies are perfect for that, right? So you have to have people really all around you that's supportive in that way. Hey, Karima. Karima, I have to thank Karima publicly. Karima is one of those people, she has believed in me for years. Like when I was really just starting, she has been supportive of my business from the very, very, very beginning. Right when I first wrote my book, she wrote an article about it in Black Enterprise. I appreciate you, girl. She let me know about different stages that I could speak on. I was able to get major speaking engagements. I mean, you have to have, when you surround yourself with people like that, like that can see more from you than you can see in the moment, that's priceless. That is absolutely priceless. Find somebody like that. We all need people like that. Okay. So I am just hoping that you find someone like that, no matter where you are in your business, that maybe believes in you, maybe even more than you can see for yourself in the moment. Okay. And I so appreciate you, Karima, for that. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Ronald. So those are, let me just kind of review because those are, I kind of got a little off tangent, but y'all inspired me tonight. Those though are the different commonalities that I wanted to share with you that I mentioned that I see in my highest performing clients. And I'm just going to quickly review those because I think they're very important. Absolutely. Connect with those that share your vision. Absolutely. Number one goes without saying, you got to be a badass at what you do. You got to be really, really good. You got to be somebody that believes in delivering a quality experience. You got to be somebody that believes in over delivering. You got to be somebody that is not satisfied with second best. So you just got to be good. There's no substitute for that. Okay. We're not faking the funk. Okay. You have to literally just tangibly be good at what you do. Okay. So that's number one. Okay. All right, Suzette. Yes, ma'am. Number two, you've got to truncate the time between the receipt of information and the application of that information. So in other words, fail fast. You got to try new things. You got to try out and see what works, see what doesn't, and keep it moving and learn from each of those experiences. And once again, I'm using that term fail fast as the sort of, Silicon Valley type of terminology. But I want you to understand that I don't believe in failure. I don't believe there's anything that I just don't believe. I don't believe there's any such thing as failure. It's about learning, right? It's about learning what doesn't work so that you can tweak it and make it better until you can determine what does work. All right. And if you delay the implementation of things, you will never find out what does and doesn't work, and you'll never find out how to keep on getting better. Business is all about iterations. Nobody does anything perfectly ever, but nobody does anything the best that they can do it the first time that they do it. It's all about iterative progress. Okay. So the longer you put off starting that progress, the longer it's going to take you to get really good. Okay. And so what I found is that my best clients do not delay. Okay. They learn, they implement, they learn, they implement, they try something new. They try it here. They learn it quickly. They try it. They make adjustments. They try it again. You gotta. Speed to implementation is the secret. Okay. Speed to implementation is the name of the game. Okay. All righty. Next, they know their value and they charge appropriately. We've already established the very first thing is you got to be a badass at what you do. And hence, therefore, you must charge like you deserve it, because you do. Okay. If you're a badass, you need to charge like a badass. Okay. That's that. Okay. Number 4, they market daily. Marketing is not something that they do willy-nilly when they feel like it, or every once in a while. Marketing is a regular part of what they do as a business owner, because every day more people need to know you tomorrow than who knew you today. Period. Point blank. Okay. Next, they sell regularly, and they're able to sell regularly. Why? Because they market regularly. The two go hand in hand. It gives them enough leads on a regular basis such that they have enough people to sell to be able to make those big numbers that I talked about at the beginning, the 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, 750,000. You can make money like that too, but you're not going to make money like that if you are not regularly marketing and regularly selling. Let's just be real about that. Okay. That happens because of consistency in your actions in those areas. All right. They don't let no's stop them, because guess what? You're going to hear no's. I hope this isn't news to you, but you're going to hear no's. It's part of the game. You can't let it hurt your feelings. You can't get all broken up because of it. Okay. It's going to happen. All right. So just know it will happen. You will hear no's. You will survive. You will get better, particularly if you begin to do a little bit of analysis behind the no's. If you're hearing a whole lot of them, to figure out, okay, what can I do to be better? What can I do to make my offer more resistible? What can I do to make my conversations more effective so that they convert on a better, higher level? What can I do to, make the proposal better? Whatever the situation is, if you are hearing no's know that that's maybe a time to take a look and see, is there anything that I could have changed? Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it's just, sometimes the no has absolutely nothing to do with you, and it's just the people aren't ready for you. That particular person ain't ready for you. Okay. Has nothing to do. There's nothing wrong with your delivery. There's nothing wrong with your offer, but that just comes from you, just doing the work of doing enough of the repetitions that you can tell, if the no is because it's something that you need to change, or if the no is because it's something on that person's end where it's just not the appropriate fit for whatever reason. Sometimes it's nothing wrong. It's just not the right fit. Boom. Okay. Absolutely. Very good. Growth mindset. Humble thyself so you can hear the feedback and constructive criticism is required for growth. Ain't that the truth? Damn, Skippy. Absolutely true. Okay. Next one. And this is the last one. They invest in themselves and invest in their businesses. So they invest in mentors, coaches, communities, training programs, networking opportunities. Like all of those things require investments, but they also invest in their businesses. They invest in making sure that they have the team, the support, the equipment, the software, like all of those things that you need in order to be able to keep up with the speed of business, so that you aren't keeping yourself small when you can grow, when you can scale, when you can be bigger. Okay. If that's what your choice is, sometimes people don't want to scale. Sometimes they want to have a more boutique type of experience where it is just them. And that's your goal. That's your right to have it that way. But if you want to scale, then you need to start thinking about, okay, I'm probably going to need to hire some team so that I can take on more projects than I can do myself, because guess what? I'm only one person. Okay, it's part of the process. So I'm hoping that this was helpful for you guys tonight. I so enjoyed talking to you all. Thanks for everybody who came on here tonight. It's so good to see y'all. Okay. So many of my friends on here. Oh, thank you. Look at that. Karima has she has a whole synopsis. She has a whole synopsis. Wonderful. Absolutely right. Love it, love it, love it. And before I go, I would be remiss not to remind you, as I promised that I would, about Black Millionaire Coach Live. It is coming up October 4th through 14th through the 16th. Don't want to listen. I need that extra week, y'all. It's coming up October 14th through 16th. Okay. At the beautiful Ritz-Carlton Hotel. You are welcome in Pentagon City, literally right across the bridge from Washington, D.C. For those of you who are out of town, you have, well, when I say out of town, that's relative, right? For those of you who don't live in the DMV area and you're like, what the hell is Pentagon City? It is literally right across the bridge from Washington, D.C. The closest airport is National Airport. The airport code is DCA. I'm getting very specific because I want you to come, okay? This is going to be a game-changing event where you are going to learn really what it takes to scale your service-based business to 7 figures. So if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're an author, if you're a speaker, if you're someone who operates in some way, shape, or form in the knowledge-based industry, meaning that you make your money based on what you know, then you need to be in the place to be at Black Millionaire Coach Live in October. Now, what are you going to learn? You're going to spend 3 days with me and my incredible team. You're going to build your $1 million offer. As I often like to say, you don't need to sell 1 million things to make $1 million. You just need one. You just need to define one powerful, scalable, replicatable, properly priced, and profitable offer. Okay. That's all you need, okay, to get to $1 million. And that's exactly what we're going to teach you to construct. And you're actually going to construct it while you are at Black Millionaire Coach Live. So this is not one of those things where you're going to come and you're going to get theoretical understanding of something. You're actually going to sit there and create. My team and I are going to help you take that genius that is out of your head, systematize it, organize it, and construct your $1 million offer on site. That's one. Asset number 2 that you're going to get at Black Millionaire Coach Live, you're going to construct your $1 million brand. So you're going to understand what you need, the elements of your brand that you need, everything from the aesthetics to the messaging that you need with your brand in order to attract high ticket buyers. So for example, just like what I just gave the example previously, where there was a spammer in the chat. High ticket clients don't go for that. Okay. Like clearly that person needs to come to Black Millionaire Coach Live. All right. Because what I will tell you here is that there are certain things that you need to do with your brand to be attractive to high ticket buyers. And what I know for sure is that every day you are either attracting high ticket buyers or you are repelling them. And when I say high ticket buyers, I'm referring to both B2B businesses and B2C businesses. So whether or not you sell to corporations or individual consumers or anything in between, okay, if they are people that are looking to purchase in the thousands, the tens of thousands, or the hundreds of thousands per pop, that is what I'm considering high ticket buyers. There is a certain way that you need to brand to be attractive to those folks. And there are certain ways that you may be branding right now that is literally taking you off of the role of consideration. Okay. So we're going to teach you how to brand in such a way to attract high ticket buyers. Okay. The standards are different, y'all. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Number 3, you are going to build your $1 million marketing plan. So on site, while you are there at Black Millionaire Coach Live, we are going to help you construct your own $1 million marketing plan. And that marketing plan is going to be inclusive of both media and digital marketing techniques, traditional media and digital marketing techniques. You know, I truly believe that the mix of the two is the most powerful way that you can literally get your business and your brand in front of millions for free, right? And do it in a way that elevates your brand positioning and prestige. And when you are able to do all of that, guess what? Not only are you able to really be able to get in front of a lot of potential leads, but you are in essence creating your own celebrity when you do it correctly. And when you engineer your own celebrity in that way, guess what? You can now command and receive celebrity level bank. Boom. Point blank, period. All right. So it all kind of comes together in that way. We're going to help you with each and every one of those components while you are at Black Millionaire Coach Live. And remember, until the end of this month, August 31st, you can use the promo code Minding My Black Business to save $300 off of the cost of admission. So go right now to blackmillionairecoachlive.com. That's blackmillionairecoachlive.com. Put in the promo code Minding My Black Business in recognition of Black Business Month in August and receive $300 off immediately. And as an extra bonus, you can even break that up into 2 payments. So with that said, I'm excited to seeing you guys at that event in October. And for my clients who are on here, I'm excited to see you all this weekend for our own client retreat. I'll be able to show a few snippets from that while we're here. We kick off Friday night with our opening reception, and we're going to be getting it going on all week long. So I'm excited to welcome you all to Washington, D.C. from all over the country. And for the rest of you, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will be chatting with you soon. The next time you see me, it will probably be live and direct from my client retreat right downtown DC at the beautiful Hotel Washington. So look forward to seeing you all there. With that said, you all, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will check you all later. Great seeing everybody, and great seeing you too, especially Karima. Great seeing you again, dear. Take care, guys. Bye.